A very good evening to you from wherever you're watching us from. This is KUTV Prime Weekend. It's the 1st of April and the beginning of the second quarter of the year. We have quite a lot lined up for you tonight on this bulletin. But first, we would love to take a look at stories hitting the headlines tonight. Four more people reported dead following the fatal accident involving a Pwani University bus and a PSV vehicle in Naivasha. Jeff Mwathe's remains exhumed for a fresh autopsy. Media Council of Kenya condemns police brutality to journalists during demonstrations. DP Gachagua slams Raila Odinga for failing to suspend the ongoing Azimio protests even after the government declared them illegal. Evans ODHIAMBO is our sign language interpreter tonight. I am IMBINDA. Welcome to the broadcast. Kenya Kwanza's top brass, led by Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, today pitched tent in Silungai Primary School, Malava constituency, Kakamega County. The Thanksgiving event that brought together 40 churches from Western and Rift Valley was organized by President Ruto's personal assistant Farouk Kibet and Malava MP Malulu Injande. Politics of opposition protests, however, took center stage.
40 churches and top actors in the Ruto administration. It was a Thanksgiving prayer event attracting no less than the Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi, and Speaker Moses Wetangula. Gachagua thus used the opportunity to fault the opposition for planning demonstrations, blaming them for violence and destruction of property on Monday and Thursday. Gachagua, however, insisted that they can only have a dialogue with Odinga on the condition that he stops inciting his supporters. Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi also condemned the demonstration, saying that they are only meant to slow down Kenya's economic growth. Mudavadi says that the opposition has no meaningful agenda for Kenyans. National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula expresses heartfelt gratitude to the Mulembe community for joining the anti-demonstration choir in supporting the current regime. Senator Khalwale, who was also present, opposed plans by the government to privatize sugar millers in the region, saying the move will negatively impact the local community who depend on the companies. Some leaders who were present appealed for a dialogue between the head of state and opposition leader Raila Odinga, saying it is the only way to lower the cost of living. The leaders too want Odinga to recognize the legitimacy of President Ruto's government. Israel Omwai, KUTV.
Mathare constituency is among the areas that hosted the Azimio anti-government protests, which took place on Thursday this week. 2 days after the protests, businesses seem to have gone back to usual as residents are seen going about their normal routines. However, the residents decry the negative impact of the weekly protests on their businesses. They are urging the government and the opposition to have talks for peace to reign.
It is exactly 2 days since the Azimio anti-government protests took center stage across the country. In Mathare constituency, the situation seems to have gone back to normal as residents are going about their businesses as usual. Margaret Wachemba, a resident and a small-scale businesswoman in Mathare, explains that the Thursday protests hugely affected her business as she did not make any sales on that day. According to Margaret, the president and the opposition leader must have talks so as to pave way for peace.
Hata hakuna kitu inatusaidia juu hawa wangekaa tu pali pamoja waone kitu wanaongea tukue na amani. Si tunaomba amani, sababu hii vurugu hakuna kitu inatusaidia. Amani ndio kitu ya maana.
Julie Owino, who also owns a clothing business in Mathare, spells out the effects of the protest on her business, citing that she is counting losses.
Hii maandamano tunaathirika sana. Kama mimi ni mwanabiashara na vitu zangu zilitolewa kwa pali penye naeka, penye nafanyia kazi, zikachomwa. Niliathirika.
In relation to the high cost of living, Peter Okumu, a boda rider in the area, stated that due to the high cost of living, he is unable to cater for his needs with the little that he gets. In addition, Peter urged the president to reduce the high cost of living so as to bring the protests to an end.
Hapa tunaumia sana kila saa tiagas. Tunauliza Ruto, mheshimiwa wetu president, alisema wakati ataweka Biblia chini unga inashuka. Na hiyo ndio shida kubwa, tueleze. Na bado mimi ni mtu wa pikipiki. Mafuta ishuke. Tunahangaika. Unafanyia shilingi 800 kwa siku na unakunywa mafuta 600, unaingia kwa nyumba na 200, watoto wanalala njaa. Hiyo ndio malalamishi yetu. Akifanya hivyo hakuna maandamano.
According to the opposition leader Raila Odinga, the protests are expected to continue until their demands are heeded to, which include opening of the IEBC servers and reducing the cost of living, among others.
As the protests continue to cripple businesses around the Mathare area, the residents have only one plea, that the Azimio leader and President Ruto have talks to ensure businesses continue as usual. Ruth Wanjiru for KU TV.
Thank you, Ruth Wanjiru, for that report. Pwani University administration has confirmed the death of 8 students and 3 staff members following Thursday's tragic road accident that involved Pwani University bus and a matatu along the Naivasha-Nakuru highway, consuming 18 lives. Pwani University Vice-Chancellor Professor Mohammed Rajab says that those who sustained injuries are receiving treatment at Naivasha Hospital. The severely injured students were taken to Kenyatta National Hospital.
Pwani University administration, led by Vice-Chancellor Professor Mohammed Rajab, has made an official statement regarding the Kayole Naivasha bus tragedy that left 18 people dead. The administration says that so far it has established that a total of 11 members from the university died during the accident, among them 8 students and 3 university staff. Rajab reiterated that the accident was unfortunate and had greatly affected the entire university and Kilifi County at large.
The other students are in Naivasha, and then there are about 10 students, through the assistance of the Office of the Governor, who are ferried to Kenyatta National Hospital. The ones who are in not very good condition. Now, so far, we have lost 8 students and 3 members of staff. And about 8 or so students are not in very good condition, and then they are in Kenyatta National Hospital. Some of them are in ICU.
According to VC Rajab, 8 students are recuperating in the ICU at Kenyatta National Hospital, 21 are under close monitoring at Naivasha Sub-County Hospital, and 2 in Nakuru Hospital, and the other 74 students who were in the other bus were ferried to Egerton University, where they are currently undergoing counseling. Professor Rajab says the university is making arrangements to transfer those with minor injuries to Kilifi Referral Hospital via the SGR tomorrow.
That 74 of our students, 62 who are in the other bus, and the others who were injured in the bus which was involved in the accident were taken to Egerton University yesterday through the assistance of the Vice Chancellor and the team from Egerton. Egerton provided us with counselors to counsel the students who were in trauma yesterday, and they slept in Egerton.
Kilifi Deputy County Commissioner Geoffrey Tanui appealed to the students to remain calm in prayer, saying the accident affected the entire country.
I'll continue appealing to them that they are feeling the pain, they have lost their loved ones, their friends, and waendelee tu kutulia na tuendelee kuomba pamoja. Sisi wote tuko kwa hii hali, national government pia tuko pamoja. At this moment, I think counseling is very important.
While different families and students are mourning the loss of their loved ones, Pwani University administration has requested the students to remain calm
during this time of hardship. Mutunga Joseph, KUTV.
We send our condolences to the people who lost their loved ones, and may their souls rest in peace. Now, the World Bank, through the Government Emergency Locust Response Program, ELRP, has allocated 17.9 million shillings to compensate farmers who incurred losses following the locust invasion of 2020. The program, which is set to benefit residents in Evorore, Muminji, Kiambere, Makima, Nginda, and Kegare northwards, will help affected farmers restore their sources of income.
Farmers in Embu County have finally received a 17.9 million shillings bounty from the World Bank as compensation for the losses they incurred during a locust invasion 3 years ago. The funds, which were channeled through the Government Emergency Locust Response Program, are set to benefit farmers in 6 wards that were affected during the invasion. The wards affected include Muminji, Kiamebere, Makima, and Kagari North wards. Cecily Mbarire is the Embu County Governor.
The project focuses on 3 priority areas. 1, micro projects, which is funding to community investment groups, CIGs, whose ceiling is 250,000 for crops and livestock-based inputs and packets, and 300,000 for goats restocking.
Mbarire, who was speaking while handing over checks to beneficiaries in Embu town, said the initiative was aimed at assisting farmers get back on their feet, adding that among the beneficiaries were 51 common interest groups that received 6.8 million for restocking of bees, poultry, and dairy goods.
The objective of this project is to prevent and respond to livelihood threats posed by the desert locust outbreak and strengthen preparedness of our communities.
According to Mbarire, they have plans in place to work closely with the Kenya Meat Commission in a livestock offtake program to cushion farmers from losses of animals during the dry season. The affected wards, including Evorore, Muminji, Kiamebere, Makimangina, and Kagari North wards, also receiving checks for value chain including dairy, poultry, beekeeping, and a crop such as green grams. Yvonne Kemuma, KUTV.
The national government is working to put 3 million acres of land under irrigation farming by 2030. Water and Irrigation Cabinet Secretary Alice Ohome says they are already implementing several projects in different parts of the country to boost irrigation farming with the aim of achieving food security. The CS spoke while launching 3 community irrigation projects in Murang'a County.
Alice Wahome, who heads the water and irrigation docket at the cabinet level, led the launch of irrigation projects worth 500 million shillings in Murang'a County. According to Wahome, this is just an initial step towards the direction the government is taking, aiming to put 3 million acres of land under irrigation farming by 2030. In the next 5 years, 1.8 million acres will be put under irrigation, where small-scale farmers are the target.
We intend to irrigate, to put under irrigation 3 million acres between now and 2030. For these first 5 years, we hope we can be able to irrigate or to put land under irrigation 1.8 acres. Of course, we are not dealing with large farms, and because in Murang'a you don't expect large farms, there are no large farms. This is some of the targets for the ministry.
The CS emphasized on the need to support irrigation farming, saying that the country is currently facing a shortage of more than 10 million bags of maize. Wahome noted that the irrigation project will be done in different parts of the country as the Ministry of Water drills boreholes to complement water sourced from rivers and dams.
We have a shortage of maize to the tune of 10 million bags to be able to be food secure. I want to tell farmers countrywide, if notwithstanding the financial and budget constraints that we have, because seriously the country was run down, we have about 22 billion shillings for all this work that is waiting for us to access everybody to water and sanitation, and then
moreover, the CS has called upon farmers countrywide to form groups and start irrigation projects, adding that it will be easy for the government to support the community-based projects with an indent infrastructure such as pipes.
I want to tell farmers, it is farmers who first organize themselves into their groups and then approach the government, the ministry, for support because they know their needs. Of course, we do awareness creation. We also do capacity building.
Murang'a County leaders led by County Governor Irungu Kang'ata lauded the project launched by the national government and offered to support it by ensuring they are well maintained.
Congratulate her for the very good work she is doing. We want to confirm once National Irrigation Board leaves these projects, as a county we shall superintend them, maintain them. We are also happy with the money she has provided to ensure these projects are finished.
As you have said, we have already managed to connect around 500, and we thank you, Honorable CS, for confirming that you will be able to support so that we can be able to connect the other 500.
As food insecurity remains an ever-present global problem, and such an initiative works towards massing the threat of hunger. James Mureke Mwenda, KUTV.
Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has vowed to cooperate with leaders from central Kenya to eradicate consumption of alcohol and substance abuse among the youth in the region. Gachagua was speaking at Elysian Hotel, Kiambu County, during Githunguri constituency mentorship dinner and launch of Food for Education program. The DP said that the rate of drug consumption among the youth has rendered them unproductive and that it needs intervention from the leaders. He has hence promised to convene a meeting with the central region leaders in Nyeri in 2 weeks' time to discuss the matter.
We are losing an entire generation. Boys have become zombies. They stay by the roadside, they are drunk, they don't know anything about tomorrow, and I feel pain that we could lose an entire generation. Shortly, in another 2 weeks, I'm calling a meeting of all leaders and security personnel in entire central Kenya, the 5 counties in Nyeri, at the residence of the regional commissioner, and the 5 governors and the senators, and all the OCSs, all the OSPDs, all the county commissioners, all the deputy county commissioners, and we make a decision as the leadership of this region what we shall do.
A 24-year-old lorry loader was crushed to death after he jumped from the lorry's tipper at Kenyenya bus stage in Kenyenya sub-county, allegedly to escape arrest by police. Ogari Maruba had seen a police vehicle approaching the tipper he was boarding from the opposite direction and decided to jump out. Maruba had loaded bricks in the area to the lorry with his colleagues and were ferrying it to an undisclosed location when the accident occurred. According to witness accounts, police in a Land Cruiser arrived immediately and moved the body to an unnamed morgue.
Nilikuwa tu Kenyenya nikisubiri gari nichukue kwa Muunga. Muda mfupi kuna gari lilikuwa tu na matofali. Kijana alikuwa tu juu akaanguka chini, gari kamkanyaga.
U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris pledged continuing cooperation with Tanzania as she met with the country's president, the only female head of state in Africa, on her first official visit to the continent. Kamala has since flown to Zambia in the final leg of her tour of Africa.
U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris arrived on the second stop of her Whirlwind Africa tour Thursday, meeting with Africa's only female head of state, Tanzania's President Samia Suluhu Hassan. She took office when the president died in 2021 and rolled back some of his unpopular policies, such as a ban on pregnant girls going to school and limits on freedoms of expression. The U.S. will provide $560 million in bilateral assistance to Tanzania next fiscal year. On Thursday, Harris said the U.S. will expand U.S.-Tanzania commercial engagement, work toward delivery of battery-grade nickel from Tanzania to the U.S. and the global market as soon as 2026, expand affordable broadband and cooperation in democratic development, biodiversity, women's empowerment, and health projects.
Thanks to the progress of your administration, you have made a champion you have been a champion in terms of democratic reforms in this country, and in that way have expanded our partnership. And so today then is part of the strengthening of the relationship between our two countries. And under your leadership, I have full confidence that we will be able to do just that.
Today, Tanzania has made another historic milestone with two female leaders, the Vice President and the President, meeting here at the State House in Dar es Salaam.
Several students waited for hours at the airport and at the State House to see the highest-ranking woman in America.
She motivated us and she gave us many opportunities, so we are proud of her. I'm expecting a lot of changes in education, in politics, also in finance, economic. We really need to be like America, at least to reach like America in their economic.
Harris also paid her respects to victims of the deadly 1998 U.S. Embassy bombing. She heads next to her final stop on this week-long trip to the southern African nation of Zambia. Anita Powell, VOA News, Dar es Salaam, Tanzania.
The UN Food and Agricultural Organization has hailed Zimbabwe's efforts to move to climate-resistant grains such as millet to improve food security. Our FAO team is in Zimbabwe to promote the grains and celebrate the International Year of Millets.
Years ago, all these fields belonging to Chieza Rupedo would mainly be dedicated to corn for sadza or ischwala, a thick porridge that serves as the country's staple food. It's now all small grains. The change in crops has been easy, Rupedo says.
I prefer small grains because this place is hot. There is less rain, which is suitable for millets. Plus, we discovered that small grains need less labor to plant them.
But not everyone prefers the small grains, which some call traditional grains. Vangelis Hartatos is Zimbabwe's Deputy Minister of Agriculture.
Some people have been resisting, and that's also correct because, you know, they haven't grown traditional grains for many years. And now you're trying to influence them to grow. So there's naturally, as human beings, we are going to resist. But like I said, when you see your next door farmer producing and thriving, you yourself, you make that decision and say, you know what, the government, what it's saying is actually correct. Let me try.
According to the Zimbabwean government and the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization, small grain yields are triple those of corn, the country's staple crop, and are more nutritious. Scientists say that with climate change reducing rainfall and causing recurring droughts, farmers should move away from corn.
Zimbabwe used to be called the food basket of Africa. Zimbabwe is, is one of the areas that we consider the center of origin for sorghum in the Southern African region. And because of the diversity and the hard work and the investment that the government is making in this area, we thought that Zimbabwe is a good example and a good place to start with launching International Year of Millets in Africa.
Andrew Mushita heads Zimbabwe's Community Technology Development Organization and has been working with the UN Food and Agriculture Organization to promote small grains in the country. He says a corner has been turned in the last 2 years.
Precisely because then we are facing challenges of climate change, which is quite devastating, and which has seen Zimbabwe being a net importer of food rather than exporter of food. So that really brought a wake-up call for both government and many development partners and civil society organizations to begin to invest in the production and increase the utilization of traditional foods.
The government hopes that small grains will soon make up at least a third of Zimbabwe's food reserves and that the country can resume exporting surplus food. Columbus Mavunga for VOA News, Masvingo, Zimbabwe.
The Weekend Prime takes a short break right here. We'll be back with sports news. Don't go too far.
Technology, science, innovation,
ICT, and research. These are the ingredients upon which the solutions to the 21st century problems are founded. In a world that is rapidly changing, it's all hands on deck to ensure a balance in all fields of life. Women, young and old, are also in the front line, breaking the glass ceiling, becoming thought leaders in the larger tech space. Not forgetting other societies marginalized. And when the tech Avengers come together, we inch closer to a much safer, efficient, and sustainable world. What we view as a norm in today's advanced world was just an idea, and for nostalgic reasons, we trace back to the iconic days to bring you the retro tech. On Tech Innovation Show, we encapsulate all the pillars of the fourth industrial revolution, decoded in a language, all for one for all. Every Monday at 8:30 as we push the mantra, keep learning something new each and every day. Only on KUTV, a new experience.
To the Church O'Clock Show. I'm your host, Esther Becky.
And my name is DJ Terror.
We start you off with a word of prayer and get you started with a live transformational worship experience. And have our minds renewed by the word of God on the word segment.
And not forgetting new music za hii wiki, yani ndakuwa bado nawapatia pale wasanii wamekuwa kiwakali. So make sure manzo tune in because zitakuwa zina flow pia pale mixes kwa wingi, yani zitakuwa zina come through, and pia performance yani from our gospel artist hapa on Gospel Art
from 7 to
10 a.m. only on KUTV.
Repossessing your property, intellectual or material.
This and more, only on Law Matters.
Welcome back. Let's get sporty. The National Rugby Sevens team Shujaa hopes of advancing to the main cup quarterfinals have all but vanquished in the ongoing Hong Kong Sevens series after losing to South Africa this morning 17-26. Kenya lost to New Zealand 5-29 and to Ireland 14-26 in their two opening matches. After falling to New Zealand, Shujaa sought to regain their campaign back on track against Ireland, but found themselves trailing after Harry McNulty converted try gave them a 7-0 lead, but Alvin Otieno restored parity with a long-range effort converted by Tony Omondi shortly after. Ireland was relentless in its attack with Mark Roshi scoring a third converted try to hand Shujaa another loss. Shujaa is placed 13th overall on the log with 29 points, while New Zealand sits at the helm of the standings with 120 points, while Argentina and France are ranked second and third with 108 and 95 points respectively. The Football Kenya Federation FKF Mozart Bet Cup round of 16 matches were on the cards today. Kenya Premier League side Sofapaka overcame Kibera Best Daraja Gogo 2-1 to book their ticket to the quarterfinals, while Tusker FC came back from 2 goals down at halftime to beat Rainbow FC 3-2 as the Lindsay Stars booked their ticket to the quarterfinals by beating rivals Kenya Police 2-1. FKF Cup action continues tomorrow with Kakamega Homeboys locking horns with league leaders Gor Mahia. KCB will play Bidco United and Muranga Seals will go head-to-head against the AFC Leopards, among other matches. The Premier League action is back today after a 2-week international break. Defending